2 weeks ago, someone I used to call my friend Mr. T Lexify made multiple false allegations about my friends and I.
What's up, guys? Today we're going over the NoahJ456 response to Mr. T Lexify's video about him and a bunch of the other members of the Z House. If you want a breakdown of that video, you should go check out the video I made on it. It's in my channel in the description below. Anyway, NoahJ456's main point of this video is that Lex frames a bunch of things incorrectly in order to deflect from his allegations going around.
This is my private life put online by someone trying to deflect from their own allegations, and truly the business of no one except for those involved who I've repeatedly apologized to.
And I do think he did a pretty good job with this video, unlike his first response. You know, he goes on the offensive and the defensive. So anyway, let's get on into it. In Lex's video, he apologizes for misleading all the members of the Z House like Pat, and he did this by lying to them about Ray Gunn's age. In his video, he claims that it was all forced by her, and it's reinforced by her toxic behavior, and basically he did it out of fear, essentially. And Noah points out how that's really not a good point because she can't literally force you.
Lex frames this as if somehow Reagan had the power to force him to lie to his friends, but no, he chose to lie to us. He chose to continuously lie to his closest friends.
For this, I kind of see both sides, but Noah is right at the end of the day. She can't really force him to do anything. But then Noah goes on to bring up how this isn't the only case of Lex talking to minors, and he did address this in his video, and he showed a bunch of text messages about it on screen, and they all kind of go to show that he was having a weird relationship with his 13-year-old, but his central claim is that he was unaware of this, but Noah points out something that he did not include in his video.
Lex put this tweet from the 13-year-old fan on screen during his video in defense that he did nothing wrong. What he failed to do was mention or address the tweet that triggered all of this. This tweet from the fan alleges that Lex actually knew her age and continued talking to her and, quote, wanted a friend in Ireland that he could come visit where she lived.
So I do actually think Noah's point is actually pretty good here because it is pretty suspicious of Lex not to put the tweet of the girl actually talking about it, because his main claim is that he was unaware of her age and that it was all a big mistake, when the girl he was talking to is claiming the exact opposite of this, and I think it's pretty weird that he didn't put that in his video. Noah brings up one of Lex's main claims in his video and one of the biggest deflections you could make, and he says that JC cheated on his girlfriend with her sister, and Noah brings up a good point that the only evidence he has is Reagan's statement that it's true.
His only proof that this happened was a text message from his ex-girlfriend Reagan, which he had just spent the previous 20 minutes of video telling us exactly why not a single word she says should be trusted.
Okay, and then Noah goes on to show a bunch of evidence clearly indicating that it was completely untrue and that if you really did any research, that is not what happened. Like, everyone else there can confirm that that did not happen. The problem with Lex doing this is that it creates a whole huge fandom going after NoahJ456 and JC. And these are two people that used to be his very good friends. And it seems to me like this was a big smoking gun for Lex, and for him to not do research on it and to make sure it was completely true is actually crazy. It seems very manipulative of the audience, and it actually does seem like he was trying to deflect here. Lex kind of at the end of the video has this random shot at Noah J where he talks about how he invited Mini Lad, which is like a confirmed pedophile, to his DJ event. And I'm not really going to comment on this. On my last video, I said how it was kind of a reach, and I'll just let Noah speak on this one.
Not only is this reason absolutely insane to say something as a fact, but here are several facts that actually prove otherwise. The first is that the event coordinators themselves confirmed he was actually invited by an entirely different party. The second you can see on the flyer that I'm actually not on because I was a last minute booking is that this is an open invite event with over 400 people on the guest list that I don't even have access to. I also don't have any control over whether or not a venue does or doesn't let a random person into the building.
One of the central points of Lex's video was how this Z House was supposed to be set in Texas, like this Airbnb they had, and how it was supposed to be a really big content house, like a phase type thing where they all grouped together and made videos. And he said the reason this never happened was because his relationship with them was ruined because of the actions of JC and Noah, and also because the group's charisma wasn't the same after all the actions they committed. And Noah kind of refutes both these points with these text messages. He kind of shows how it was never really meant to be this huge content house that Lex frames it as. And he goes on to show a clip that Lex purposely, I assume, left out of his video, where it talks about how Lex was like really wanting this to be a house, and how he kind of was, him and one other person were the only two people standing in the way.
Jack was down. Chucky, believe it or not, Chucky actually saw things the way I did. Like Z House could really be a brand.
Yeah.
It start to get like its own thing.
Yeah.
Like we're having merch. Like we could really do this as like a thing.
Yeah. So he was in.
He was also in. It was you and Pat that weren't.
What? Wait,
Dude.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So when you say you regret it, it really hurts me because it's like, bro, I tried.
So it's very weird for him to say in his video that he really wanted this to happen and how it was Noah's fault, when in reality it was kind of his fault, you know? It seems like Noah actually is kind of right here. But there was one thing that Lex was right about, and it was kind of the biggest smoking gun of his video. It was that Noah cheated on his wife.
Even though Lex spouted a ton of lies, the thing that made it difficult to separate and respond properly was there was one thing that he said that was true. Lex put in his video that I had cheated on my now ex-wife, something I confided in him while I was still trying to take responsibility for it.
Yeah, that was still true, you know, but in Noah's defense, it's not what got the third Z House canceled, you know, I guess. That's still a bonus for him in his eyes, apparently. And it seems to be the thing Noah is most upset about, so it seems he is a little biased in making this video. That's about it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Check out my other videos if you're interested. Subscribe.